Remax results. Nancy, where are we at today?
Oh, yes. Actually, guys, I'm going to tell you guys all about it. We are in a wonderful, beautiful two-story home built by Eternity Homes, and we're in the Summerlin neighborhood of Woodbury. So we wanted to thank Andy Prasky over at Remax Advantage Plus for the opportunity to film here today.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, Andy.
Yeah. If you notice, we have an additional wonderful crew to our member here. It's Nancy's buyer's agent, Ta, and Ta's going to work with Nancy to take any buyers out at a moment's notice.
Yes.
So one thing that I really learned is that, when you build a team, when you go single, you go really fast, but when you're with people, you go really far. And Nancy wants to provide help with buyers at a moment's notice. So she's really, enlisted Ta to really help get buyers to their future home as fast as possible. Okay, so in today's video, we are going to talk about staging your house, how to stage your house the right way. But before we get there, we're going to read the Zillow review of the day, the 5-star Zillow review for Nancy at Remax. Okay, you ready, Nancy?
Ready.
So this is from Deb Lear.
Yeah, Deb Lear. Oh, that's right. Yeah, such a cute couple.
Deb. We bought our home with another group, but weren't happy with how that process went. We carried 2 mortgages in hopes that the spring market would bring us the best price from our previous home, and when we were ready, we called Nancy. She'd been recommended to us by our mortgage broker. Way to go, mortgage broker. And we wanted someone who knew the east side and really appreciated the east side. I came from the east side. We made the right decision. We met with Nancy in January, and in March, we were ready to list. Her knowledge and expertise was clear to us from the beginning. Our house was on the market for just 4 days, and offers came. We had a quick snafu when the first buyer lost their finances 3 weeks into the process.
Yeah.
But Nancy assured us that it will not be a problem, because she's always a problem fixer. She had the house on the market again the next day, and we had another offer within 48 hours, just 2 days. So she definitely got us the best price that we hoped for, and we highly recommend Nancy. And now with the team,
Awesome.
with her team too.
That's great. Yeah, so Deb and Jennifer actually owned their house, and it was right on Earl Street, so super busy.
Totally. Yeah.
But it's so cute though. It had a beautiful porch. It was a stucco house, and they had hardwood floors. It was just it was really great to work with them. They were like really straightforward from day one to like, what do we have to do? What can we get away with not doing? And yeah, so that's all so great. I was so happy to work with both Deb and Jennifer.
Nancy, are you ready to show us how to stage a house beautifully?
Yes, absolutely. Let's get to it, guys. All right, so again, we're in the Summerlin neighborhood, guys, and we're going to show you the living room because this is such a big focal piece of the house as we are walking in. It's the first thing usually that people see, right? So I'm going to draw your attention over here because, of course, this builder, they've got the luxury of a beautiful, designer with a great eye for color and everything. So I'll just point out that what they did in this corner of the home is, they chose simple palette, essentially. They threw some, fun throw pillows here for some additional texture. And if you notice the piece of art that they chose, their throw pillow really picks up the blue that's also in the art as well. And so I think they did an excellent choice. I've actually done this many times when I'm helping people get ready. Sometimes I actually have a collection of just like artwork, random artwork, depending on the color palette in the home. And if I've got something that works out for them, I'll come in and just hang a little piece of art or something. A lot of times people get a little nervous because they feel like they're pretty committed once they've picked either a sofa color or something like that. But a piece of art is going to really tie that in. And if you take a step back, you're going to be able to see that they also have a rug to showcase this space to just have some separation. On the main floor here, we have all the the luxury vinyl plank that looks just like hardwood floors. And so this rug kind of gives it some separation from like the dining area and the kitchen where we're at. And you can see that they're staged for a wonderful night, with a couple glasses of wine right in front of your fireplace. So Ty, why don't you chime in and tell us a little bit about other things that you see as you're taking buyers out to look at home?
Okay, sure. All right, guys. I don't know. I mean, when I take buyers out, what normally happens is that, just an FYI to the sellers out there, like, declutter and put your stuff away, especially personal things. A lot of buyers, they get distracted when they go into homes, when you have too much of your personal belongings out there, because now they're trying to figure out, okay, who the sellers are, you know, and so they're not, you know, they're not looking around as
They're
much.
not focusing on
Yeah,
the
they're not
house, right?
focusing on the
They're
house.
distracted
Yeah,
by
they're super
personal
distracted
things.
by personal items. So, you know, declutter and just lots of cleaning and making sure that, you know, you get all those items out of the way.
Absolutely, 100%. I was, I tell you that I recently had worked with a bachelor, and you know, so nothing against bachelors, you know, plenty of single people out there.
Yes.
But what happened when I was helping him get his home ready on the market was that, you know, even if you don't, like, let's say your budget, you don't have a large budget to do a lot of updating or like, you know, to go and buy a bunch of things just to spruce up your space when we're getting ready to sell it. 100% of the easiest, like, free thing you can do is clean. So I would do 100% cleaning, even if you have maybe like a little bit more dated bathroom or kitchen. Honestly, people will look at how clean it is. So, you know, it was kind of tough for me to tell them, like, hey, you should clean in like the corners in the bathroom and things like that, because people will be looking at the
They
end of
look
the day.
at everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
So clean, you know, being clean and decluttering is going to be a great way for you to be able to get that much closer to selling your place.
Nancy, Todd, we got some people watching. Let's say hi to Shun, HAC, Chance, Webster, and Erica Wilebski.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, Erica is actually, shout out to Erica. Actually, she is her a insurance broker, and she's been doing it forever. She's got an office over in downtown St. Paul, and so, yeah, thanks so much for watching, Erica.
All right, let's do
Great.
shout outs.
Great. So yeah, today, like I was just telling my team here, is that, you know, we tend to look at ourselves as professional problem solvers. So when there is an issue that arises, many times our clients are thinking, oh my gosh, what do I do? I'm going to probably call my realtor and see if she knows, right? So there were two instances actually. So I wanted to shout out to two different companies, but I'm selling a property right now in St. Paul where one of the foundation walls is slightly bowing, and I saw it right away when I had gone to the home to list the property, and I did point it out to the owner. I'm like, hey, do you know anything about this wall? It's not, you know, plumb, which is basically like straight up and down. You can see a little bit of movement in the wall. And so he told me, he's like, well, Nancy, you know, this house, I bought it as a foreclosure, and the walls looks like that for the last 10 years. It hasn't moved, nothing has changed, nothing has happened. However, you know, we did have a home buyer who made an offer on the home, and they were a little nervous about it, so they decided to, after doing the inspection, they decided that they were not going to give us an opportunity to, you know, have like anybody look at it or do any repairs yet. So we've got the property back in the market, and guess what? We've got another offer just in yesterday, but I did hook them up actually with a structural engineer who recommended a contractor who does a lot of structural repairs, so that we're well on our way to a solution. But the reason why I wanted to mention it is that his name is actually Paul Voigt at Voigt & Associates. So he's a structural engineering company based out, I think it's that instead of him, you know, he basically told me, he was really frank. He's like, Nancy, you know what, I can charge you $500 to come out and write you a report that says, hey, you need to fix this wall. Or I can connect you direct to the source. So I just thought that it showed such a level of integrity for someone who cared enough to say, hey, I'm not just gonna come and take your client's money. I'm going to offer a solution. So I wanted to just, you know, tell you guys about Paul and his company. I thought it was really great. And he was recommended to me regarding a couple other commercial deals that we're working on. So excited to share that information. And then lastly, you know, do you want to talk a little bit about radon? You know, it's something that we always tell people about radon, like
Yes.
the dangers of radon.
Yes. So radon, a lot of people don't know what radon is. So radon is a radioactive gas that comes from the ground. And, you know, we live in Minnesota, and a lot of our homes have, you know, they go underground, unfortunately. So what happens is, you know, when you recommend radon or when you talk about radon to a lot of buyers, they have no idea what it is.
Yeah, and they get kind of freaked out. It's always been there, honestly.
Yes. Yes. So it just comes up from the ground, the soil, and you know, unfortunately, long-term inhalation of radon, it can cause cancer in the lungs, even if you have never smoked or, you know, never secondhand smoked or any of that stuff, unfortunately. So, you know, it's just good to kind of get that done if, you know, a lot of times you're going to be staying in the downstairs.
Yep, so what Todd's recommending is that when we buy a home, we typically recommend that a radon test is done. Now the magic number is 4.0 picolarys, which is essentially like a measure of like parts per million in like layman's terms anyway. But you know, the EPA and the Minnesota Department of Health recommend that, you know, we do have radon testing completed when we buy a home. So there's actually a home in South St. Paul that I'm currently working with the seller on, and the buyer had come through and did an inspection, and it turned out the radon levels were at 5.0. So definitely a full, yep, essentially, you know, one full mark above what the EPA says is normal. So I did a little bit of shopping around to help the seller out, because she was like, well, Nancy, what do we do? Because of course the buyer is asking for us to mitigate the radon. And she's like, well, do you know any radon companies? And I did shop around, look at a couple different companies, and we found TJ Radon, actually. So Thomas and John have actually been mitigating radon in homes for the last 5 years, and they've done over 1,000 home mitigation systems. So we're pretty excited. It'll be getting installed in this coming month in May, and it's gonna all be done for the buyer so that it's safe for them to move in. They can hang out in the basement and have no worries about developing lung cancer over time. So.
And lastly, we just want to say hi to Eric Woodruff and Matt Ashworth.
Hey Eric and hey Matt. Matt is an awesome real estate agent. He and I did a deal together in kind of like right on the border of Brooklyn Center in North Minneapolis. He was an impressive agent, so hey, great to see you online, Matt. Awesome, great. Well, thanks so much, you guys, and tune in next week for our next episode, all right?